Quick tutorial for the editor on the AnatomyArchive. First of all, the editor has different modes. These are listed here if you click on this button. By default, you are in the new WYSIWYG editor, which means what you see is what you get, and it's basically an easy version for editing. If I click on this, I get to the old WYSIWYG editor, and these two are the markdown versions. If you can, please always use the new WYSIWYG editor, so don't click on this. If you want to edit your page in the white mode, you can do this. Save your page up here, I'll talk about this later, and switch to a new tab to the home screen and just click on light mode. And if we reload this page now, it will also be in white mode. Let's look at the basics first, and after that I'm going to show you some bonus tips. By the way, I would recommend using the editor on desktop version. It also works on mobile and tablet, as you can see here, but there are just less bugs on desktop, so use desktop if you can. So up here we have all the icons you need. It's kind of like a Word document, but made easier. The most important icons are the forward and backward arrows. You can also use them by hitting Ctrl Z or Ctrl Shift Z for forward. Then we have text formation with headers and paragraph. We have big, italic and underline formatting, color settings, alignment settings, and right here there are link and image settings. Also there's a full screen mode. I don't really like to use it though, because the full page will be in this format kinda, you see? So I just keep it in this format. At the top of every page there is this preview block, which is actually a collapsible block. You can open it and it will have some text inside. Open it by clicking on the block and then clicking this button for opening it, and this button is to change the label. If you ever delete an important collapsible block, you can add them right back in. Just go up here, and the last button is insert collapsible block. I can do it right here. And now I can edit the label like I said and open and close it, or also delete the collapsible block. I can write whatever I want in these, and I can also put pictures in these. If I close this block now, the picture is no longer visible unless I open it again. This is a great way to hide some pictures, for example hiding the advanced section so the reader doesn't get overwhelmed, or hiding some study pictures so the whole page does not have to load right at the beginning. These blocks can be quite tricky, I know. You can just play around with one and get to know them, or you can always just ask me for help. If you delete one by accident, you can just get them back by hitting undo or hitting Ctrl Z. Second thing that can be a little bit tricky are pictures, especially inserting pictures. You can just click on this icon for a new picture. This server will show up. These are all the pictures that are uploaded to the AnatomyArchive. Just upload your picture here. I will choose a picture that I already uploaded before. And now I just hit select image to paste the picture in the page. It will spawn in the original size, and you can always make it bigger or smaller via these corners. Like you just saw, if you misclick the corners, they will duplicate or make some stupid stuff. So just hit undo, Ctrl Z, and let's fix it. If you drag the picture larger than the actual page, it will always fit to the maximum size. So you can just, you can just over drag it and it will fit. You can also click on the picture and hit this button to edit the exact pixels. If I, for example, edit this to 500, the height will automatically be arranged. Please always leave the link attached to the image. This button means that there's an image link attached to it. This basically means if I click on an image, it will open up in a new tab in full resolution. Can be good for downloading the image, so that's quite important. Don't hit this button, which will disconnect the link. Now I can no longer click on the image after I publish it. Okay, let's drag the image full size and add another image. To do that, I just hit return on the keyboard. Now let's add another image. Right here you can also delete the image if you want. If you no longer want your image to be on the server, you can always delete your own images. Delete. You can also replace the image, but I would advise you to delete the image and upload it again so it doesn't bug out. Okay, so now we have two images. You can always go between images to add text. For example, if I click on the edge right here and hit return. One more thing that's important, never go below 350 width. I think that's the minimal pixel width for mobile, so if we go below that, the images won't be full screen on mobile, and that just doesn't look good. So let's keep it above 350, or just go as big as you like. Okay, let's talk about drafts. You can see here draft saved at 1820. I can save it right now. Sometimes it saves by itself, but make sure to save it. You can also hit Ctrl S on the keyboard for saving it. This will just save a draft, not publish the page. These are two different things. Now that the draft is saved, I can just hit back right here, or just close the site. And now the draft will be visible in purple in the actual chapter, or on the home page on the top right. There's editor with drafts. I can just hit this to enter the draft and keep editing. Okay, and what about saving? This green button will save your page, or in other words, publish your page. So if I hit this, there's no going back to draft afterwards. This will always be the final step. So ideally, you will make a new page, edit it, draw something, insert a picture, and after you've done everything, you can just hit save, and it will go public mode, will be published, and everyone can see it. If you publish a page by accident, that's no problem, of course. You can either delete the page and start a new one, but that would be a waste, I think. So just type whip in the title, or not final, or whatever you like, so that people recognize that it's not finished. Otherwise they might be confused. You can do this, or you can also add a new line, maybe at the top of your page, and insert a warning. You can do this by going to the text formatting, hitting callouts, and then warning or danger, whatever you like. For example, let's put not final in here. So now if people get on my published page but it's not finished, they will immediately see that it's not finished, blah blah blah. Okay, two more things about text formatting. The most important formats are headers. There are large, medium, small and tiny headers, and there's the paragraph. So the normal text you use to describe something is always paragraph, and I use medium headers for the big headings and small headers for the smaller headings. Also, always make the headings bold, please. If you don't make them bold, they will look kind of tiny. Alright, now some bonus tips. First of all, join the Discord. I answer the fastest if you put your questions in the Discord. You can always enter via this link right here, or you just click the link in the video description below. Next thing I want to talk about are text colors. As I mentioned, there are these two buttons right here, text color and highlight color. And as of right now, the text color should always be in this gray mode, which is actually this one, like no color. The website automatically changes the text color depending on white and dark mode. So if I just leave it in this color, it will be this light gray in dark mode, and it will switch to a dark gray in white mode. If you change this to white, however, this will be brighter in the dark mode, but you can't read it in white mode. So always leave this in no color. Also, I don't really like using the highlight option. There can be the same problem as mentioned before. Yeah, just be careful with this. And always think about, is it readable in both dark and white mode? You can also quick switch between the text formattings using shortcuts. So Control 1, 2, 3, 4, and Control 5 is always paragraph. It's just counting down from top, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Block quote doesn't count, I think. And then callouts are 6, 7, 8, 9. You can always look up the shortcuts in your profile. Just go on the home page, hit your profile icon and my account. Then you go to UI shortcut preferences, and there are your shortcuts. The most important ones are E for edit and 1 for homepage, in my opinion. So if I just hit 1 right now, I'll go back to the homepage, and if I'm on a page that belongs to me, I can hit E on the keyboard and it will jump into edit mode. You might have to enable the keyboard shortcuts if they don't work for you, and you can also change the shortcuts here. Oh, and I just noticed you actually can't edit the shortcuts for the editor. So these shortcuts with Control 1, 2, 3, they're set actually, but you can edit the shortcuts for the whole Anatomy archive. All these other icons have shortcuts too. Just try them out and maybe you find one. For example, bold is Control B. Now one more thing about picture sizes. We talked about pictures before. You can change the pixels here, whatever, but I would actually advise you to not go above 500 kilobytes per image, which is also tied to the picture's dimensions. So I would advise you to draw in a small canvas, for example 2K by 1K pixels. You can go even higher, like 3K pixels width, but don't go like 7K, because picture sizes are actually important for SEO, which means search engine optimization. Basically, it's important for the ranking of the website. So if the image is really heavy, like if it is 5 megabytes big, the site will load longer and therefore Google ranks it worse. I also wrote this on the guide page. If you scroll down to the footer, there's this creator guide, and you can read all of this here. So I would recommend staying below 500 kilobytes per image, which is easily possible. Just an example. Here I have some pictures of mine, and as you can see, you can always check by clicking on the image, and then right here there's the size. So I would say this image is okay, like 390 kilobytes, but the full rendered one is 1.6 megabytes, which is too big, so you'd have to compress it a bit. What also helps is saving the picture as a JPEG, not a PNG. I wrote it here too. And yeah, as I said, don't go like crazy high numbers. You can stay within 1500 by 1000 pixels and it will look good. All the pictures I drew for this are in these dimensions. Same goes for the reference pictures at the end of your page. For example, these images are all below 500 kilobytes. And on top of that, they're also in the collapsible block, so they won't load 100% as soon as I open this page. Actually, one more thing about reference pictures. I will do another video about this because it's a little bit tricky too, but make sure to read this guide. There's this guide, reference pictures. It's only visible for creators because I have these picture partners and I don't want to make their images available to everybody, just creators. But yeah, make sure to read this page. I will do a video about this, but the most important part is always use real life images. Don't go on Pinterest and copy an image of someone else drawing the muscle. Always use real life footage, please, because we need a reliable source at the end of every page. The thing is, because we draw the whole pages as artists, there can be mistakes, so I want to have a reliable source at the end with real-life validation. If you need help with this, again, shoot me a message, or better, join the Discord linked in the footer or in the video description below. And you can put all your questions in there, I will always answer there. And yeah, I hope this helped you understand the editor a little bit better. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.